So hello and welcome everyone to Let's Play Tomb Raider 5 Remastered. So guys, 115 speaking, and may I just point out what a difference the remasters make. I mean, look at this absolute terrifying abomination Lara Croft was in the original. This is so much easier to look at. She even looks kind of cute and mischievous inside that diving suit. Anywho guys, in case you're wondering, you cannot re-enter the submarine via swimming up, okay? Just wanted to make that clear. And oh, something new has popped up on the screen, an addition to the remasters, but I'm gonna explain. First of all, I would very much like to welcome you to the Deepsea dive. In today's level, we are gonna get our hands on two pickups. The Spear of Destiny that the whole Russian chapter is about, and the one and only Golden Rose, increasing our secrets count to 16, our pickups count to 119, and whilst we are gonna encounter 3 enemies, none of them we are gonna kill in any way, only avoid and outsmart. I'm gonna explain, but they're absolutely fascinating. Now honestly guys, I love this level. It in many ways reminds me of the beginning of 40 Fathoms, except we are properly equipped this time, so that debacle is not going to repeat itself. Our oxygen bar is not just decreasing randomly for the time being, and we have a proper suit for this kind of depth, which is amazing. We now exited a submarine to look for the wreckage of a much older submarine. What this level, however, is all gonna be about is achievements. You can already see in the YouTube toolbar that I've split this video into 3 parts, into 3 chapters, and you can tackle them in whatever order you'd like, because each achievement is gonna sort of require a separate run, at least the way I designed this. So starting with Silent Raider, making a torpedo crash into the submarine. What they mean by this submarine is the Russian submarine we emerged from. We're gonna lure a torpedo from one of the enemies we encountered to actually hit it, which is a little bit tricky, but once we accomplish that, we're gonna go back to the level start and then tackle Peculiarities of the National Fishing. Use all 10 char flares to divert torpedoes. Again, there's a slower, more methodical way to pull this off, but a very reliable one that I want to show you. And of course, I'm going to explain the char flares in a sec. And finally, we're actually going to complete the level whilst maintaining our stress level 0. Not making Lara nervous before she takes the secret and finds the Spear of Destiny. So essentially half of the level, you are not to see this bar pop up on the screen. This is a stress bar that was apparently there in the original game, however, did not have the interface to back it up. Okay guys? And now, with the remasters, we are fully aware of it, we have a proof it exists, and we have already failed this achievement. But that's fine, because we're focusing on a different one. First of all, I also want to show you, you cannot take your guns out underwater like this, you cannot use your binocs, you cannot use flares. You can probably use medpacks, although I'm not going to do that. We still have the crowbar for whatever reason. And you can also see in the corner of the screen that we are indeed to find only 1 secret Golden Rose. So the first level that broke the 3 secret rule, but it's so short it will make sense. Furthermore, 10 char flares. These are the one and only goodie we can use. And what these do is they just eject themselves from Lara's back and fall onto the seafloor. That's essentially it. They might seem useless, they don't even illuminate things. I mean, our headlights already do that. In the originals, they were even more impressive than in the remaster, but this is a bit more realistic. And honestly, the way this thing handles, which is really the only vehicle we're gonna get to control in Tomb Raider 5, reminds me of the underwater propulsion vehicle from Last Gate of Tomb Raider 3. And you know, if you watch my Let's Play, I actually love that thing. It controls great. And I have no qualms about controlling this one either. Nevertheless guys, let's focus on Silent Raider first. I recommend going to the left here and encounter the enemy. Indeed, the whole seabed is populated with 3 of these miniature submarines chasing us wherever we go. But we're gonna have to add some light source in here. Excellent. Because I want to take a picture of these guys in their original and remastered form, and you can actually see that inside is just a head poking out with no arms. I mean, how he uses those controls, I truly do not know. It really takes me back to the 40 Fathoms FMV with the submarine operator trying to get Lara, but then because of a shark jump scare, hitting a rock and dying. Anyway guys, these guys are the bane of our existence in this level. But remember, they'll be firing torpedoes and we want one of them to actually hit the home base, the Russian submarine over there. And this should be the perfect angle from which to accomplish that, okay? So let's stay next to this rock and hope they're gonna start firing soon. Okay, that's one, but let's not get hit, because that will then prevent it. Okay, that hit the rock on the way. Almost there. We need to get it via a bit of a diagonal angle. Oh, that's promising. Yay, Silent Raider! So the torpedo did hit the submarine, this massive body mass. Okay guys, so let me now, since we already used one Shuffler, restart the level and let's focus on peculiarities of the national fishing. Alrighty guys, back at the beginning of the level. Oh, something I haven't done yet is take a picture of the original diving suit Lara and the remastered one. Anywho guys, let's focus on peculiarities of national fishing. This is all about shufflers, and remember guys, whilst there's the flare hotkey for these babies over here, that will not work. In fact, to drop a shuffler, I don't think there's a hotkey on consoles using a controller. You have to do it manually via opening your inventory. But if you're using keyboard on PC, you have to press the sprint key to drop these. So I'm gonna do that right away. To put my money where my mouth is. There we go. And now each time a torpedo is launched, it will follow the trail of that shuffler, on and on and on. And it lasts about 10 to 15 seconds or so. The most trickiest thing about this achievement is to get the timing right, not to drop the flare in the opposite direction too early, or you're just gonna waste it and fail the achievement. What we want is give it more time. Maybe let's give each direction and each shuffler a chance of 3 or 4 torpedoes roughly. And this way we'll be sure that's what happened, okay? Oh my god, it already followed us. That's not very good. Okay, now they're being diverted via the third one. And you just need to have a bit of patience and to have the best overview and most control over the situation. You should do it in the opposite sides of the arena. That's essentially a good way to guarantee it will not misbehave and the torpedoes will not follow the previous one, not making progress for the achievement with the new flare you just dropped. Okay, excellent. Once we move to the other direction, another torpedo should be diverted. And let's drop a new one. And I think we should be halfway through with the achievement. And again, this is not the fastest method to do it, but it's the one that, again, gives you the best control over the situation. It's how I reliably managed to do it across 3 platforms. Let's see if Steam will be the 4th one. Okay, let's drop a new one now. I love the fact that these are... Oh, bit of a stuttering there. I love the fact that these are ejected from Lara's back. She doesn't even have to lift her arms or anything like that. I wonder, is her entire backpack inside that suit with her? I mean, probably, since we carry our entire inventory. Excellent. I would say that counts as diverted. Let's get to the other side. And now... I just want to quickly check. We have 3 more shaftless to get rid of. Okay, and as you can see, the range on these things is really impressive. However, whilst you can continue the level and attempt stress level 0 after you unlock this achievement, it's a little bit more difficult if you completely run out of shaftless. They're still an excellent defensive tool. Okay, there we go. And I think we're down to our final shuffler. Let's see if this will work as intended. Okay, the previous one was still in effect, but any moment now... Oh, come on. The new one, please. Thank you! And there we go! Peculiarities of the national fishing are ours. Use all 10 shaftless to divert them. Excellent, guys. Now we have no more. So keeping our stress level 0 will be extremely difficult. I don't recommend it. By the way, one thing before we reload, I wanted to show you. This wreckage of the submarine is the German World War II one that we're looking for. It really reminds me of the U-boat we found in Sleeping with the Fishes level in Tomb Raider 3's Ouch! The Lost Artifact expansion. Anyway, guys, this is what happens when you don't have shaftlers. Lara's stress level got out. The torpedoes didn't deal as much damage as I would expect, but still, she does not like it, and our stress level 0 achievement is null and void. So, let's retry this again. Alrighty guys, here we are back with terrifying creepy Lara in the original graphics. You could have actually seen a flash of the original loading screen there. The reason? The remastered geometry, as beautiful as it is complete nonsense and actively lies to you. What you can actually bump into and hit, you will see if you switch into the OG graphics. And that's how I recommend you tackle the following achievement. Remember, the moment you see the stress bar appearing on screen, you have failed. So let's drop a first shaft flare here for good measure. And also another one in this corner opposite of the secret tunnel. Now this is the hardest part of the achievement right here, not bumping Lara when entering this tunnel, but I think we're doing a splendid job of it. And now let's get out whilst the shaft flares are still in effect and stay away from the submarine, even if diverted via the shaft flares. If the mini torpedo just brushes past you, Lara's stress bar is gonna appear, which is understandable, I think. Okay, Miss Croft, get out before the shaft flares expire. Oh, thank goodness gracious. Okay, excellent. And now, as we go to the left, where we originally unlocked Silent Raider, you will notice another left branching path, but the strong current will stop you from going any further. Don't waste your time going there. It's gonna serve as a way back. What we want to do instead is divert this torpedo, but I don't like where the mini-sub is going. And guys, this is the worst offender. Look how different the geometry is. This is why... Oh, I was about to say this is why you want to switch to the OG graphics. But somehow, we bumped something here. Anyway guys, it was a stretch to think I would pull this off on my first attempt. Let's give it a second one. Alrighty guys, let's do this like absolute professionals. This is gonna be our second attempt now. And let's see if in that time I have learned anything at all. I'll be honest, I doubt it. Anyway, first shaft flare, let's drop it in that corner. And then the second one, we are gonna drop on top of the rusted submarine shard here, opposite the secret tunnel. And now I want to enter this gently, with nuance and feeling. Okay, and let's do our underwater drift as we're holding action to pick up a goodie. That's gonna help you a lot. And now we're too close, I don't like it. Let's get out. And let's drop another shaft flare for good measure so as not to brush past us and increase that stress bar. Jesus Christ! On our way out. What was that? I think the currents sometimes take the older shaft flares to unexpected places whilst they're still in effect? Okay, nevertheless, let's see how we'll manage to overcome this next bit of geometry. Even switching to OG graphics clearly didn't help me, so there's that. But let's now move past this guy, and let's do it like this, facing the middle, and let's, if possible, look at Lara's shadow down there to see how perfectly she is aligned to the middle. Okay, excellent. Yeah, Lara's shadow is a decent indicator. And now for the ultimate test, what we want to do is drop a shaft flare there. And now enter this part of the German submarine. And from now on, guys, the geometry should not lie. And in fact, there is some lovely detail here. And you can take it slow. So what I'm doing now is I'm just tapping the jump key to swim with very gently, and this should make it impossible for Lara to actually hit a bump if you keep tapping. The disadvantage is it takes absolutely forever, but in these tight corridors it's a godsend. Although we can no longer follow Lara's shadow, we shouldn't need to. Okay, let's swim a little closer. And the good thing is you are gonna unlock the achievement as soon as you reach the following cutscene. You don't actually need to finish the level without increasing your stress level, okay? So it's a little bit more lenient than that. Honestly, guys, if it wouldn't be for this achievement and the stress bar, I wouldn't even know the original had something like that. By the way, talking about the original, as you can see, it was really just a rushed area with no environmental detail whatsoever. The remasters at least put some pipes and skeletons here, you know, at least a little bit of something. Anyway, the last hurdle, and I think right over there, should be the crate with the Spear of Destiny, the only thing that survived the catastrophe. Alrighty guys, couple of things. We have the Spear of Destiny in our inventory, and both the Golden Rose and the Spear of Destiny, you both see now on screen, increased our pickups count to 119. Oh, and I guess I forgot to add the caveat, there are no breakable objects in this level. However, our Aqualung got punctured and we need to get out of here. I also love the fact that the stress level 0 achievement was timed to unlock exactly as Lara picks up the Spear of Destiny. It's a really lovely touch. Anyway, we have 5 more shaftless, but now don't worry about bumps, don't worry about increasing your stress level, although increased stress level increases the oxygen consumption, which makes a lot of sense, but honestly, even if we take some drowning damage, which should be fine. Let's just not get our hand completely turned. Okay. And I want to get out like this. Let's drop a shaftlet over there so that it flows the seafloor. And my friends, we could have taken an alternate route. Let me explain. If we go all the way back to the wreckage of the German submarine, we could have also used this tunnel, swim through and around the seabed. We would get out of any kind of torpedoes and a faster current would take us all the way here. However, I do find it easier to just come back the way we arrived. And now the music has calmed down. Lara's stress level is not really all that high and we still have plenty of oxygen to spare. But before we swim up and finish the level, you know I need to show you the stats screen. So first of all, let's save the game here and let's take a look. So my friends, this was the Deepsea dive. Given the achievements, a much more stressful level than it had any right to do, and also the video is much longer than I expected because of all the hiccups, but I hope I at least entertained you for a while longer and more importantly helped you unlock those achievements. So we got our hands on all 2 goodies, raising the total to 119. We have not landed any kills, all the 3 mini submarines and the operators are still safe and sound, although that will change in the next level. And we got our hands on the one and only secret, raising it to 16, no breakable objects to think about, but we have unlocked Silent Raider, Peculiarities of the National Fishing and Stress Level 0 in that order. Again, you can navigate to the different chapters of the video to just tackle the achievement you want, if that's what you want. Anywho guys, thank you so much for being here, and now important thing, there is a cutscene that follows what happens when Lara emerges into the submarine. However, that cutscene essentially kicks off and starts the next level. So rather than show it to you in today's episode, I would like to ask you for a bit of patience for the next episode where I'm gonna show it to you, because it just ties the whole end of the Russian chapter nicely that way. Okay guys? So as we enter the submarine, you're gonna see me thank my amazing patrons. Blangupel, Mick, Severin Drax, Enstickle, Katie Danger, Budu2, Basic Briny, Bino, and Alex Clark. Thank you guys so much for being my loyal Winstons and for reminding Lara to bring a proper damn equipment for another 40 fathoms deep Deepsea dive. Next, I would like to say big thanks to my caretaker Winstons, Karavetu, Renegade Derny, Blanket Fox, Jonathan Jones, Dig the Bee, PD92 and Akires. Thank you guys so much for your support of the channel, and also it seems years of moving around making Lara's breakfast without waking her up have rubbed off on her, making her the Silent Raider. I would also like to give special thanks to my brave veteran Winstons, Andrea Paviglianiti, Alexander and Richard Dearman. Thank you guys so much for your valiant support of the channel, and also thank you for taking younger Lara out for fishing using unconventional tools like shotgun, dynamite and apparently shaft flares, teaching her all about the peculiarities of national fishing. And finally, I would like to give one very special thanks to my one and only fine vintage Winston, Akira Foxmind. Thank you so much for your long and incredibly generous support of the channel, and also thank you for teaching Lara the virtue of meditation, looking within herself no matter the circumstance, the extreme suit she wears and the extreme pressure and depth she's in whilst having torpedoes fired on her. She was perfectly still and stress-free, and this is all thanks to your meditation techniques. And on a final note, I'd like to say thanks to my free Patreon members as well as to each and every one of you for making it to the end of today's video. A rather short episode, although much longer and messier than I originally expected, all about the achievements. I hope you nevertheless found it useful in terms of your own achievement hunting, and if you found some better technique to pull those off, please share them with your fellow Tomb Raiders in the comment section. Pulling our collective knowledge together is where the real treasures lie. Nevertheless, guys, I'm curious to hear one other thing from you, and that is, do you think this level would have suited better being combined with the previous submarine level? For those of you who are Tomb Raider 5 veterans, would you have actually preferred the Deepsea dive to be combined with the next level that follows? I actually think that was the original level designer's intention, given that today's level had one secret, and in the one that will follow, the final level of the Russian chapter, we'll find 2 secrets, almost like it was supposed to be one level with 3 secrets. Nevertheless, curious what you guys have to say about that, and talking about the next level, it's gonna take me some while to actually put together, but I'm gonna start cracking on it right now so that I can bring it to you already next week, hopefully. With that said, I wanna wish all of you happy raiding.